and services to create the recipe for success. The Time by Sagicor Bank is...
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart and STA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Coming up in CVM News at 7, local government under strain. PNP mayors seek greater financial flexibility. Tougher laws, stronger security. NSC backs crackdown on scamming and drugs. Crime, politics and controversy. Leaked voice notes reignite national debate. In Tech Pulse, AI race, Caribbean innovation and cybersecurity threats collide. In the business report, the silver anniversary of Sterling Asset Management Limited. And later in sports, West Indies beat Pakistan by 90 runs to win first test.
Headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart and STA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Candy Pang.
What I want?
What I want?
That I want.
What a guan.
What I want?
What a one! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by...
Anything for the taste of a juicy, crunchy, irresistible KFC big deal. KFC, it's finger licking good.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Tuesday, July 28, 2026. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin tonight with the explosive leaked voice note scandal rocking the People's National Party as the opposition is refusing to go beyond PNP President Mark Golding's response to the controversial recordings involving their party members. With the details, here's Kevin Black.
The PNP's news conference shifted focus during the question and answer session after reporters asked about the leaked voice notes involving party members discussing the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority, NARA. Deputy General Secretary of the PNP, Nikisha Burchell, said opposition leader and PNP President Mark Golding had already stated the party's position.
The leader of the opposition spoke on this on Sunday. I believe you would have been privy to what he shared. What our internal workings have been is not for the public discussion in terms of how we are speaking with those who are in those conversations. What I think is instructive is that a certain media house decided to publish select voice notes from a chat they had access to, a private chat, and refused to share the other positions that were more in keeping with our stated public position.
When asked whether she would personally condemn the comments made in the recordings, Burchell again declined to comment, saying the party's position had already been made clear.
As I've said, the leader of the opposition has stated our position on that topic, and that's the extent to which we're going to be speaking about that.
Burchell maintained that despite the party's concerns about NARA, it would continue to monitor the agency's work.
What the PNP has stated from the beginning is that we want a reconstruction entity. We want an agency that is accountable, transparent, and open, and that is fair and that gets to the people who really need the support.
Kevin Black for CVM News.
In the meantime, the opposition PNP is raising concerns about the ability of municipal corporations to respond to community needs, from drain cleaning to infrastructure repairs. Our reporter Kevin Black joins us in studio now with more.
Thank you, Nika. The PNP is arguing that the challenge facing local authorities goes beyond the road repairs, pointing to what it describes as a lack of financial flexibility and control at the municipal level. At a media conference Tuesday, mayors from several parishes spoke about the strain on their resources, including the impact of Hurricane Melissa, delays in accessing emergency funds, and the need for greater decision-making at the local government level. The details in this report.
Today, we therefore call on the government to publish a full, transparent breakdown of every dollar it claims is allocated to municipal corporations for road maintenance.
The People's National Party, PNP, says the government's claim that municipal corporations receive between $600 and $700 million each month for road maintenance does not stand up to scrutiny. Speaking at the PNP's local government funding crisis media conference on Tuesday, opposition spokesperson on local government and participatory democracy, Natalie Nita-Garvey, says the party's calculations show the average monthly subvention to all municipal corporations is about $473 million, with Kingston and St. Andrew receiving the largest share at $85 million, while Hanover receives just $13 million.
The figures presented to the Jamaican people have been inflated, combining funding streams that are either restricted or simply unavailable for routine road maintenance. It is absolutely disingenuous to suggest that municipal corporations have sufficient resources. What KCMC receives as a monthly allocation to assist 40 divisions could not even repair one of my roads under the Spark program.
Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swebe, says the cost of rehabilitating roads far exceeds the funding currently provided to local authorities.
If we are achieving $85 million, you'll understand it. And I'll go even further. We have far more than 100 kilometers of road. Far more. And it would take roughly $33 million a month if we are to fix those roads in a sustainable way. I cannot see how one road authority solved the fundamental challenge of sustainable finances for road construction and repair.
Meanwhile, Mayor of Savannah Lamar, Dan Reed-Delonce, says the parishes still recovering from Hurricane Melissa cannot be expected to fund disaster recovery from their existing operating budgets.
We have drains in Westmoreland that to clean such a drain from end to end properly will take you into the millions, 2-3 millions minimum for some of these drains. So when a division is allocated $750,000 per month for a councillor to respond to cleaning a major drain, you would have to save this money. Disaster recovery cannot be funded from an already inadequate operational budget. Disaster recovery needs special allocations.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Meanwhile, the Manchester Police Division is increasing measures to mitigate crimes such as lottery scamming and illegal firearm issues. Representatives of the division met with the councillor and other members of Manchester communities on Monday, as Crystal Williams tells us now.
The Manchester Police Division will be increasing operational activity with additional personnel deployed across Clarendon, Manchester and St. Elizabeth. While highlighting lottery scamming as one of the major issues to address, Deputy Superintendent Natalie Hall-Williams specifically condemned these crimes and urged those who may be hesitant to come forward to report them.
You know of persons out there committing illegal activity. They're doing the scamming. You need to call somebody. You need to you need to call the police officer. Now you may look at it and say, oh, I don't want to call Mandeville Police Station because they might know my name. They might be able to recognize the voice, or because of fear factor. There are so many avenues that you can call and tell what you know.
She also spoke out against the number of younger people being caught up in these crimes, stating that they need proper parenting and guidance.
14-year-old, 18, 60 odd. persons, when you check the phone, they have lead sheet. Tell me, a 14-year-old, what is it that they're doing with the lead sheet? We need to start parent the right way.
Deputy Superintendent Hall Williams added that the practice of lottery scamming can lead to other dangerous situations, such as fraud, particularly for those who are unemployed.
Lottery scamming activity is causing a serious impact in the division. And if you, the citizens of Manchester, don't stand up with the police officer, it is only going to get worse.
Crystal Williams reporting for CVM News.
Meanwhile, the people of Manchester continue to experience back-to-back curfews, with the Manchester Police seeking to clarify their strategy on how the curfews being implemented will address current crime issues. Manchester has reported 23 murders so far in 2026, with approximately 8 shootings reported in the past week.
So, coming the ending of the present curfew, a further review will be done to see if the time that it should commence, it will stay that way, or it will be extended. It's not a permanent fixture. It will be reviewed. I can't say that it is going to stop tomorrow. It has to be the decision of the commanding officer and the intelligence that we rely on, and then a decision is taken.
The National Water Commission, NWC, is advising customers served by the Mona Reservoir system that water supply regulations will be implemented starting Monday, August 3, 2026. The Commission says the reservoir is currently at 64.7% of capacity and continues to experience reduced inflows due to ongoing dry conditions. Customers are also being advised that this trend is expected to persist, with an outlook on July to September 2026 by the Meteorological Service indicating a 40 to 60% likelihood of below normal rainfall across much of Jamaica. This includes a forecast of increased probability of drier than normal conditions in St. James, Trelawney, Portland, and St. Thomas. The Mona watershed is impacted by rainfall in both Portland and St. Thomas. CVM News at 7 continues right after these.
KFC Summer Bucket.
Chicken, mega deal, super chicken.
This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the summer bucket for $4,700.
Get a T-Tag and lock in your toll rates for the next 90 days. Effective Saturday, August 1st, 2026. There will be some changes to the toll rates at the Portmore, Spanish Town, Vineyards, Maypen, Tollgate Mainline, and Tollgate Ramp toll plazas. But with a T-Tag, your rates will remain unchanged until October 31, 2026. Plus, all Class 1 and Class 2 T-Tag customers will get their 10th weekly trip through the same toll plaza free. Visit transjamhighways.com for the upcoming rate changes. Don't pay more at the toll booths. Get your T-Tag today from any manually operated toll booth on Transjam Highways.
Before the first patty is baked, they are hands that grow what we need. For Jamaica, by Jamaicans. Through every season and challenge, they built with us. They believed. To every farmer, thank you.
Anything for the taste of a juicy, crunchy, irresistible KFC big deal. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Thanks so much for staying with us. Criticism of the PNP's handling of the leaked voice notes continues to mount. The fallout has received more reactions emerging from civil society and political observers who are raising questions about accountability and public confidence. Akela Bailey reports.
Over a week after leaked voice notes confirmed by People's National Party President Mark Golding to be voices of members but not executives, the matter remains concerning. Among those criticizing Golding's response to the negative tone directed at NARA and its CEO is Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, Mikel Jackson. In addition to being woefully inadequate, she says the controversy has created a conflict of interest.
When there is a credibility issue at play, dare I say, any future comment from the People's National Party when they are seated in Parliament would be seen now as obstructionist, will be seen as lacking the moral authority and credibility to speak. So what those voice notes have done is to undermine the credibility, delegitimize any future commentary on NARA and what it takes really to monitor NARA and how it operates and so on. And I think that in and of itself is quite problematic.
The JFJ president went further, noting the members involved in the voice note saga have disqualified themselves from representational politics.
I believe that the members within the voice notes, they've disqualified themselves from representational politics, given the governance issues at play. Now, if I believe that they've disqualified themselves from representational politics, I think the voters should be aware of what the governance issues are and make those demands. I hardly call for resignations, Tyrone, unless it is that I speak to my board.
Meanwhile, political commentator Jermaine Barrett maintains the controversy has eroded the public's trust in the PNP.
We've heard countless statements from the leader of the opposition about him not standing up for corruption, and a lot of the campaigning at the last general election in 2025 was about an anti-corruption stance. They made a big issue of the Integrity Commission report against the Prime Minister. That was central to their campaign messaging. Again, promulgating a narrative that corruption is antithetical to the values of the People's National Party. Well, after all of that talk, after all of that chatter, here comes the opportunity now to put to the test that which was articulated, on multiple political platforms. But unfortunately, they're failing miserably, and their credibility is in the rubbish bins right now, because Jamaicans aren't trusting them as being people worth believing when they say one thing and do, quite frankly, the opposite.
Akela Bailey, CVM News.
Meantime, murders are trending upward in St. James, with the parish recording more killings so far this year than during the corresponding period for 2025. The increase comes as police continue efforts to disrupt gangs and tackle other major drivers of violent crime. Renee Gordon has the details.
Police Division has recorded 40 murders between January 1 and July 2025 this year, up from 33 during the same period in 2026. The 6 additional killings represent a 17% increase, prompting continued policing strategies targeting gang activities, interpersonal disputes, and other contributors to violent crime. Commanding officer for the St. James Police Division, Aaron Samuel, says the latest figures reflect an increase over last year, but insists investigators are aggressively pursuing the perpetrators.
St. James had been plagued with a serious gang problem. Even in 2018, we reached a high of 300 murders. Fast forward to 2025, we completed the year with 58 murders. There was a distinct focus on gangs over the last decade, and I believe that from 2022 till now, we really managed to put a hold on the gang situation in St. James. And we saw a standout, or what we consider a breakout year, which quite frankly, we even surprised ourselves.
Senior Superintendent Samuel says they have identified the factors driving the murder figures, and operations to target the issues directly are ongoing.
That since the passage of Hurricane Melissa, we have been seeing a lot more interpersonal incidents. It could be quantified that there's an increase in unemployment, an increase in displacement, an increase in just persons being in each other's spaces more, because you may have persons who have been negatively affected in terms of job-wise or even just frequency of work, which may cause issues. And then we have been recognizing that there are a lot of disputes as it relates to property.
However, with the numbers trending upwards, the senior officer was pressed about the level of confidence with his own leadership.
I believe that the team here in St. James, we have retained the confidence. In a meeting that we had last week, it was broken down and he saw the work that we were doing and he uttered, and it was all over social media, that he is very happy with the work that we are doing. The domestic issues we are dealing with, that we are pivoting our operational tactics and our community intervention tactics to deal with that. And I believe that at the end of the year, you will see us in the green.
Renee Gordon, CVM News.
There's a renewed call this evening for the government and corporate Jamaica to invest more heavily in the country's social programs. The appeal came during a women's empowerment event hosted by the Social Development Commission, SDC, in Montego Bay, St. James. Details in this report.
I knew the only ticket out for me was through education. And I made an investment in myself.
Principal of the Flankers Primary and Infant School, Colette Barnes, at a recent women empowerment event in Montego Bay, St. James. Principal Barnes was among several speakers at the event hosted by the Social Development Commission, SDC. According to Executive Director of the SDC, Omar Frith, the event was organized in response to a need identified in the community.
Would have engaged the community to understand what are the other issues with which people are confronted. And based on that needs assessment and the general environmental scan, we were able to determine some of the gaps. And this particular event is a response to some of the gaps that were identified.
But organizers say identifying the need is only the first step. Meeting it requires greater financial support, something they say cannot be achieved without more investment from both the government and corporate Jamaica. Warren Morley is a community liaison officer for the Montego Bay Business District.
There are more that government can do, but it's trickled down to the agencies, because the government has equipped the agencies to ensure that we can do the necessary funding. Give us the necessary funding so we can do the social programs. But there are more that they can do, but I appreciate the little, because sometimes we have to appreciate the little where we're at so we can reach the big when it's necessary. I understand that funding might be some issue, but give us more funding where we can go there to do the necessary work in terms of ensuring that persons can benefit from these programs.
Notwithstanding, participants say the event was needed.
Honestly, it impacted me a lot. I learned a lot today. It gave me hope to know that there is someone out there who actually cares and wants to see women improve in the society. There was a lot of information for me to just borrow and then there was motivation, and I saw how other persons even from the local economic development, where those beautiful women who are starting their own business said that even though it was hard, they still pushed it. So it was just pure motivation.
Hearing the stories of other women who tried to find business roles and became powerful women that were share their experience and we can hear their voices. Now we can hear other women outside their voices in there. I'm really worried.
Natasha Williams, CVM News.
And we apologize for the audio quality in those inserts, but the University of Technology UTech Students' Union Council says it has rejected a negotiated reduction in the university's miscellaneous fees from $60,000 to $50,000. The council says it has also formally rejected the university's 10% tuition increase. Natasha Williams tells us more.
With just a few weeks remaining before the reopening of schools for the 2026-2027 academic year, the University of Technology UTech Students' Union Council and the university's administration are still at loggerheads over an increase in fees. An advisory released in May of this year proposed a jump in the Enrollment Commitment Deposit ECD from $40,000 to $60,000 along with a 10% tuition hike. However, following rounds of meetings with the union, the university's administration offered to reduce the ECD to $50,000 with conditions attached. This has not gone down well with President of the UTEC Students' Union Council, Joel Brown.
So the conditions were students would have to pay $5,000 of that technology development fee in semester 1 and $10,000 of that technology development fee in semester 2. The conditions are, if a student starts UTEC in semester 2, they would still end up paying $60,000 for the enrollment commitment deposit. And students who are on the Student Loan Bureau would have to pay $60,000 as well. So the council met, and we've made the final decision that still puts the students at a disadvantage.
According to Brown, the university has been unable to justify the need for back-to-back increases.
So we are proposing a complete rejection of the technology development fee. Our stance is that the university should fund this through their own budget, and it should not be imposed on the students. So the new miscellaneous fee that we are advocating for is $45,000.
The Students' Union Council President stressed, though this might seem minuscule to others, it will mean a lot to students who are now indecisive about continuing their tertiary education at UTEC.
They're feeling awful. And if I'm being frank, a lot of students say that they don't think they can continue at UTEC. Well, if you check social media, and based on survey data that was collected, students literally cannot afford to pay $60,000 for ECD, as well as a 10% tuition increase. So we have to understand that we have a majority of lower income students at the University of Technology. And the reality is, with these impositions of fees, students will have to discontinue university.
So, where do the negotiations go from here?
Well, this is where we seek support from the government to intervene, because the university is a public body and it must be held accountable, right? And the council has been exercising all its reasonable means to negotiate with the university, provide our claims. We have done extensive research, but now we need higher support.
Natasha Williams, CVM News.
CVM News at 7 continues in a moment.
Summer bucket.
Chicken, Macadillo, super chicken.
This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the summer bucket for $4,700.
School expenses adding up? Get ready for school with Chris and Charles. From July 9 to August 31, enjoy a low interest rate on loans of $1.5 and $2 million. Plus, get 25% off the processing fee on loans of $1 million Jamaican dollars and above. You could also qualify for one of 50 ready for school grants worth 60,000 Jamaican dollars each. Visit your nearest Chris and Charles branch or www.chrisandcharles.com for details. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles. Conditions apply.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
The style is no scammer, no style me.
From the market to the farm to the office, money talk is everywhere. But are you making sense or nonsense? The Bank of Jamaica brings you common sense with BOJ. Real stories, real laughs, and real lessons to help you protect, grow, and manage your money. Mattress savings.
At least my mattress. You charge me to sleep on it.
Partner plan.
Remember last year we needed our payouts early?
But Miss Pam give it to her cousin first.
Or a sketchy loan flyer?
Electrifying deals.
See why making the right financial choices is pure common sense. Brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, empowering everyday Jamaicans one episode at a time.
Grandpa, it's 2026. You can't keep hiding all your money in every single pocket forever.
KFC Summer Bucket. This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the summer bucket for $4,700.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Welcome back. It's now time for the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today. From the silver anniversary celebrations of Sterling Asset Management Limited, whose quarter century of operations is proof positive that a small, sleek pod of dedicated financial professionals can have a profound impact, not just on personal wealth creation, but on national development as well. President and CEO Charles Ross recalled the moment Sterling Asset Management Limited dived headfirst into the then relatively unexplored US dollar-denominated fixed income investment market and the global disruptions that then followed in its wake.
25 years ago, three of us had a belief, a fairly simple one, that Jamaican investors deserved better. They deserved access to global markets, honest advice, and a financial partner who would be with them through every part of their lives. 9/11 happened 6 months after we started business, and of course markets tumbled in response. But as we learned over the years, that sometimes those developments also present opportunities. While many portfolios were under severe pressure, our focus on high credit quality and active management meant that our clients were insulated from the worst of the crisis. Some even benefited from the dislocations in the market.
Those who would have invested with Sterling from 2001 would have witnessed what Ross describes as steady growth during the intervening 2.5 decades.
The theme of our anniversary is that our word has always been our bond, and it speaks of legacy, trust, possibilities, and confidence. We've also developed some homegrown investment products that have done quite well. Sterling Global Funds is the name of our mutual fund, and since its inception in 2003, it's delivered an annual average return of 10.6%. And that return is not much less than the return of the S&P 500. By 2021, we had surpassed 400 million US in total assets under management. And by 2025, we had crossed over the US $500 million mark. And we think those numbers speak for themselves.
Though the president and CEO admits anniversaries naturally invite retrospect, he suggests that contemporary complexities may offer additional opportunities and that Sterling's positioning to capitalize on them is no fluke.
The world today is volatile. There are geopolitical tensions, trade disruptions, uncertain monetary policy. Uncertainty, in fact, is a daily challenge. And international financial markets are experiencing significant volatility as a result. Now, for many investors, this can feel unsettling. The very conditions that make investors nervous are sometimes the conditions that create the best long-term opportunities. Now, recent developments in the market, such as the announced delisting, going private, of Scotiabank, have prompted many investors and pension funds in particular to ask important questions about where they can find good quality, long-term equity investment options locally. SIL was created to answer that kind of question. It was designed to give pension funds, institutional and individual investors consistent, professionally managed exposure to global markets through a credible listed vehicle right here on the JSE.
An experience from which Tony Anita Elliott, Vice President Sales and Marketing, and Michelle Valentine, Assistant VP Marketing and Communications, suggest even those born without the proverbial spoon can benefit from.
25 years is a long time in any industry. In finance, navigating the turbulence this region has seen for the last 2.5 decades is a genuine achievement. So for Sterling, today is about reflection. It's about looking at what 25 years of staying the course looks like in the real world. But it's also about looking forward to the next 25 years and beyond.
If there's one thing we hope people remember about Sterling 25 years from now, it is not simply that we manage investments well. It is that we use our success to help create opportunities for others.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crossgill.
And in the business of eggs, egg farmers across Jamaica are also battling the heat with massive declines in production owing to extreme temperatures, mainly in southern parishes. The president of the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association says farmers have been hatching mitigating strategies to protect their eggs. Rising temperatures predicted by climate experts, now taking a toll on myriad sectors and water sources, have also been drying up egg production in several parishes. President of the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association, Mark Campbell, who also operates Campbell's Egg Farm in Falmouth, Trelawney, says sweltering heat in the summer months saw some farmers losing up to 60 dozen eggs per day. This, with climbing mortality among laying chickens, has dampened profitability in many parishes.
Mortality, death of birds because of the heat. Up to yesterday, I spoke with one farmer who told me that so far he has lost more than 700 laying birds. That's the equivalent of 60 dozen eggs per day that he has lost from those birds. Another one in Clarendon has lost significant numbers also. And right along that south coast region, some excessively high temperatures have been recorded.
Temperatures hitting record highs have dealt considerable blows to the sector amid losses from the month's earlier Category 5 hurricane.
We have seen temperatures in this summer period here that are excessively high and very unusual. We have recorded temperatures of up to 105, 106 degrees, especially on the south coast of the island, in the parishes of St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Elizabeth.
Campbell notes the association has hatched a raft of mitigating measures to safeguard their stock and beat the heat.
We instruct them, advise them to try and irrigate the roofs, install some sprinklers on the roof. And the very dangerous period for the heat on the birds is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. During that period, the farmers must do something to cut down the temperature that is going to hit the birds that are underneath these roofs. We advise them to do that. We also advise them to manipulate their lighting programs.
He shared that birds typically do not eat during the heat and warns of compounding heat from galvanized roof material used to construct coops.
And the brown egg is produced by a brown chicken, a brown layer, and the brown chicken does not handle heat well at all. The white chickens, that we are not so much a country for white eggs, but the white chicken, because that color white reflects the heat. so they can cope better with the temperatures that we are seeing here. But right now, since the month of May, June, we're now in July, we're seeing some dreadful temperatures, and every farmer is praying for the time to cool down a bit, that they can have the birds perform at an optimal level.
Egg production in Jamaica grew from an average of 120 million eggs in 2008 to a peak of 255 million eggs in 2023, before facing weather-related declines in 2024 and 2025 due to storms and extreme heat. We return with sports right after the break.